Good evening. My name is Faisal Elkhatib and I'm with Better Informed Housing. This is a live TV broadcast. We're also on Facebook Live here. Our number is 312-738-1060. You can call us at any time. I'm here with the lovely Sanina Ellison Jones. She is a real estate broker with the Realtist Association. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm going to briefly, we are the Better Informed Housing. You can find us at betterinformed.org. We're at 218 North Jefferson, Suite 103, Chicago, Illinois, 60661. You can email us at neighbors@betterinformed.org. So, Sanina, tell us a little bit about, I know we had Courtney on here a little while ago. He is the president of the Dearborn Realtist Association. And at the time, that was last month, we were talking about the Wealth Building Day. How did that go?
Community Day was May 26th at Malcolm X College, and we had an amazing turnout. I had the pleasure of being the chair along with a number of my colleagues from the Dearborn Realtist Board. So I was co-chair. And there were 1,000 attendees.
You had a lot of public officials too. You had Cook County Commissioner Bridget Gaynor was there. You had candidate for the assessor Fritsch was there. You had several representatives from the Department of Building and the Department of Planning and Development from the City of Chicago.
That's correct.
You had the president of the Illinois Association of Realtors was there.
Correct.
Matt was there.
Matt Defane.
Matt Defane. So we had a lot, it was a huge turnout. I remember I was there. Actually, our whole team was there, and there was at least 1,000 people there. It was a wonderful turnout.
It was a great turnout. We had some financial literacy classes that were hosted by the Realtors Women's Council. Judge Murray. Judge Murray, that's right. Judge Murray was there. Judge Paul Reed was there from the Housing Court. Judge Murray is the chief judge of the Housing Court. Essentially, he controls and commands all housing in Cook County, which is a very powerful and important position. Judge Paul Reed is one of the judges in Housing Court, as well as Judge Gallagher. So, Sanina, tell me a little bit about you and what is it that you do, and what are the things that you want to hit on tonight? Well, I wear a number of hats. Today, I will wear the hat of president of the Realtors Women's Council, which is an affiliate of the Dearborn Realtist Board. And what we focus on is financial literacy in the community, and also empowering women to be leaders in our community, as well as community service.
So when you're talking community, and I know a lot of people, especially closer to my complexion, say community, right? So we're really talking about enhancing and improving and helping the Black community.
Correct.
Financial literacy, leadership, really taking ownership and control of their lives, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you. And so tell me a little bit more. So I think we've got you on the web here. So the Realtist Women's Council, correct?
That's us.
And that's at rwcichicago.com. And essentially this is the Women's Council, which is a subdivision or a subsection of the Dearborn Realtist Association, right?
Correct. So we're an affiliate of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, which is ultimately the umbrella or the parent company, which Dearborn is the local chapter of. So
and the Realtist Association is the African American Real Estate Brokers Association, correct?
Correct.
And so, just a little bit of history for those of you who may not have tuned in last month. Thank you for tuning in today, on both. But essentially, about 76 years ago, when
1941,
when there were Black real estate sales professionals wanted to become licensed, and they wanted to join the trade organization at the time, the National Association of Realtors. They would not let Black people become members. So at the time, the Black real estate brokers and real estate salespeople formed their own organization, and they called themselves Realtists. I did not know this until recently, and I'm actually honored to have learned this piece of knowledge, and saddened by the fact that it had to go this route. But it is a NAREB, National Association of Real Estate Brokers, is the national association, and Dearborn is the Chicago chapter, and it started here in Chicago, right?
It did.
Okay. So, tell us a little bit about some of the financial literacy programs that you're doing and what your goals are and what one would expect from that.
So the Women's Council of NAREB, which is our national organization, which the Realtist Women's Council of Illinois is the local chapter for, was started in 1975. And we were started under the pillar of financial literacy. So one of the things that we do is we go out into the community. We partnered with over 60 churches. And when I say the community, the reason I say that is because I'm just naturally referencing Black people, but because it's me saying it, I assume that that's understood. But in the Black community, we go out into the Black community. We've partnered with over 60 churches who have allowed us to come in on a Saturday and teach a 3-hour class on financial literacy. So we teach everything from credit to budgeting to just the ABCs of purchasing a home and what that looks like.
So, which is huge, because a lot of that's really taken for granted in some of the other communities, in other minorities, or even just the white community, where that's taught from generation to generation about home ownership. We talked about this last time I was with Courtney, indicating how, and I can't remember the numbers, but I believe it was like 13% or it was just a really low number compared to white homeowners. Do you
It's
have
about
those statistics?
42%. So the National Association of Real Estate Brokers has a report called the State of Housing in Black America, which we refer to as the Sheba Report.
Okay.
And in that report, it really details and outlines the current housing system or current economics in housing right now for African Americans, specifically referencing the homeownership rate at 42%. In comparison to our white counterparts at 72%.
Wow.
So that's why we have such a focus and a drive on homeownership. And one of the initiatives that's been started by the National Association of Real Estate Brokers to increase that homeownership rate is the 2 Million in 5 initiative. So we have an initiative to put 2 million Black homeowners in homes over the next 5 years.
2 million Black homeowners in 5 years, and we're looking. You said 42% of the African American or the Black population own homes, compared to 71% of the white population that own their own homes.
Correct.
And the important piece of that, if my understanding is, by owning your own home, you have equity, you have financial control, you have power. Then you have wealth building, because as you build your own home or you tap into that equity, you can expand into other investments or other things and actually pass that wealth down to other generations, so that way they can own their own homes.
Exactly. And that's why it's such a big deal, and I'm so passionate about it, and Women's Council is so passionate about financial literacy, because that's the bridge between building the generational wealth and building bridging the gap from when grandmama owned a home to,
right,
the grandchild who now has to continue to start over, who does not get the home passed down to them. There's a huge significance in that.
And becomes that financial base that doesn't exist from the prior generations.
Exactly.
So I'm going to do a little bit of a pivot now. Before I jump to the pivot, I want to remind everyone we are live here, so you can call the numbers at the bottom of your screen at 312-738-1060. Facebook Live people. We've got, if you want to call in as well, you can. The number again is 312-738-1060. And again, we're at thebetterinformed.org is our website. You can log on and check that at any time. It talks about what we do. And you can reach us after the show if you ever wanted to email us at neighbors@betterinformed.org. So just a quick pivot, Sanina, to realtists. So we talked about there's a realtist and a realtor. A realtor is just a name for a trade association, correct?
Correct. A member of
the realtor is a realtist. So
right.
What do you get? So what would someone expect from a realtist that they won't get from a realtor?
A realtist is focused on economic development in the Black community. One of the things that I love being under the leadership of our current president is he's truly focused on creating opportunities in the Black community for the Black community. One of the ways that he's done that is through the receivership program, which we've had one in October, and there was one just recently in April. And what that's done is it's empowered the Black community to acquire distressed properties, potentially, but more so to ensure that these abandoned and vacant properties in our community are managed and taken care of, and put back into viable housing stock so that they are no longer an eyesore in our community. And the reason it's such a big deal is because this has been going on for centuries and ages, except it hasn't been our community that's been taking control of these properties. So in teaching the class, which we were able to graduate about almost 200 graduates, I think there were 80 in each class, this has empowered those in our own community to take stock and take ownership in the community, take over these properties, abandoned and vacant properties, either rehab the property, now it becomes a viable rental option, it can become a condo again, whatever they see as an option for rehabilitating their property, but it's no longer an abandoned eyesore. That continues to increase the housing stock in the community. It also increases values in the community and also the tax base in the community. So everyone wins when the housing stock is improved.
So really just to kind of touch upon it, so we've got vacant abandoned buildings and they're rampant throughout the black community. If we're talking about Chicago, we're talking about the south side and we're talking about the west side. I know a lot of the communities around the city of Chicago also are facing massive issues with abandoned and vacant properties and boarded up properties. And so the reason the receivership piece was so powerful is because it addresses, if I'm not mistaken, the zombie issue.
Right.
So we call them, and this is, I don't know if I termed but it's been out there, but the zombie properties. So if everybody's familiar with zombies, so you've got a body that's operating and moving and creating an issue, but you have no brain. So the owner doesn't want to be a part of it, or the owner is deceased, or the owner is so far underwater and the bank is got this massive debt. And so the owner's like, well, I'm not going to go put $50,000 to rehab this place so the bank can just take it from me. So then they just abandon the property. The bank won't foreclose. The tax buyer won't buy the taxes. So you end up with a complete and total eyesore within the community that no one wants to touch.
Right.
And the power of the receivership, and this at the classes that we're teaching, so the receivership comes in because they get that first shot, right?
Right.
So when they're appointed as receiver by Judge Murray, who, if you remember, if you were paying attention at the beginning of the show, who was at the Wealth Building Community Day, he gets appointed as a receiver, and from there, that receivership gets a first lien position to take out everybody. So essentially, through Courtney and the program, the receivership program, 200 potential receivers were educated and graduated to take on that program.
That was awesome.
That's pretty cool. So tell me more about. So what do you do, Sina? You're mostly you're a real estate broker. You have your own brokerage, correct? So tell me, how many brokers do you guys have? What is your specialty niche as to what you do?
So I'm the managing broker for Chicago Homes Realty Group. We're a boutique real estate brokerage located in the South Loop of Chicago. We focus on residential as well as commercial real estate, particularly the multifamily space, where we sell 5 units and up. We also focus on property management, where we've managed properties for a lot of our clients as well.
Okay, and that's what. So how many brokers are with you, or real estate agents, sales professionals are in the office?
There's about 9 of us in our brokerage.
Okay,
right
so
now.
a nice little boutique firm, and I've met a few of them. Who are fantastic, by the way. So tell me a little bit. So tell me what else you want. How do you empower the women in the leadership piece? I know you were talking about empowering the women in leadership and kind of taking some more leadership roles through the Women's Council. What kind of leadership roles, what does that look like?
So being a servant leader, which is what I consider myself, I've served on a number of boards in the past, and what I find is you become a leader through serving. Right, so you don't start out at the top, you start out at the bottom and you work your way through the organization. But in doing so, you're learning and you're developing those very important leadership skills, which are transitional, or I guess you can take them anywhere. So one of the things that we've done, I was tapped on the shoulder in 2016, late 2016, to be president of this awesome organization here in Chicago, because the Chicago chapter was defunct for several years, about 8 years or so.
Oh, wow.
So it was an honor, but it's been a tremendous ride and a tremendous journey in building up the members and the membership. So it's just been an awesome treat to see the ladies who joined an organization based solely off of the mission of the organization, which is to educate people in low to moderate income communities on homeownership. I mean, that's our mission, and people jumped behind that. They had no clue what it meant to be treasurer or first vice president, second vice president, third vice president. But over the last 18 months, we've developed a very strong leadership team as a result of that. So I'm very comfortable now to see our first vice president, Cecilia Marlowe, who is a lender with Federal Savings Bank, lead our team. I'm very comfortable if I was to step down that she could step in place, or our second vice president. So it's just an awesome opportunity to develop other leaders, to be in a position where as a leader you develop leaders.
So do you have upcoming programs or events that are coming up that the Women's Council is sponsoring in terms for this financial leadership?
So we do. Each month we do financial literacy classes. So happy Father's Day
Well, thank you.
to all of the fathers on yesterday. And in light of Father's Day, on June 23rd, we have a financial literacy class that we're hosting towards men. Women are welcome, but we are definitely trying to love on the men and empower them and encourage them to buy homes and invest in real estate and leave legacies for their children.
So June 23rd, you've got an event. Where's that event being held at?
So it's going to be held, it's called Real Men Buy Homes and Leave Legacies.
Okay.
It'll be held at 2151 West Washington Boulevard. That's at the corner of Washington and Levitt. That'll be at Metro Church. Pastor Eddie Williams III is our faith-based liaison. He also will be a part of this event. And that event is
20. Just a minute with that down. I'm gonna write that down for them. 2150 West.
2151.
Oh, 2151. On a piece of paper for everybody to put it on the screen. So 2151
West Washington Boulevard.
Washington.
So we
And
want to
that's
pack
Metro
the house with as many men as we can to empower them, answer any questions they have, but get them ready to become homeowners. And if not, homeowners that's great. Homeowners, if they're already homeowners, invest in real estate. There's so much opportunity, and homeownership continues to be at the cornerstone of how we build wealth in the African American community. So it's important that our men are at the forefront of that.
And if you have any questions, you can call us. Again, this is a live show. The number is 312-738-1060, both the Facebook Live as well as on CAN TV here. So financial literacy, is it more than just buying a home, or what? Take me a little bit through that. It's getting the financing, and what are we looking at?
Well, buying the home will be the culmination. That's the end step, right?
Okay.
So before you get to that stage, there's a number of things you need to do to prepare for that. So we start with budgeting, just learning how do I manage my money. Credit, where am I from a credit standpoint? The first step is pulling your credit report. A lot of times we hide under a rock and pretend like it doesn't exist, or we don't know what's going on. So it's important to pull the credit report and take a look at it, see what's happening, and take control over the credit situation. We work with a number of credit professionals that can assist in that area.
So if I've got bad credit, you can find someone who can help me clean up the
Absolutely.
credit. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now that I've gotten credit,
Yep.
let's say it was bad. I hire this person, whatever. I fix my credit. The next step is now where we go. Where do I go from here?
So now we need to get a pre-approval.
Okay.
We want to make sure we've been on our job for at least 2 years, because they're going to
Okay.
need tax returns, bank statements.
All right.
You can use your 401k or 403b. So definitely consult your accountant or tax professional there, but those are some means by which you can utilize funds to make your first down payment. But there's also down payment assistance programs.
And you can use Section 8 vouchers towards your mortgage payment.
That is a new program, yes.
That's a
CHA.
fantastic program. So you go from being a renter, you build them through this multi-year process, and next thing you know, they can own their own home by using their Section 8 vouchers.
CHA has the Housing Choice Voucher Program, where they can utilize that voucher as income. Absolutely.
Wow. All right, so we've got the pre-approval, we've got our credit going. Where are we going now?
So now that we have the pre-approval, we're all ready to shop. I call that's your license to shop.
License to shop.
So
okay.
now we do what I call a buyer consultation. So we sit down and have a conversation, which is so rare in 2018.
Right.
But we sit down and we talk about what it is that you're looking for, all the rubies and the diamonds that are coming out of the ceiling. I kind of level set those expectations a little bit, but we talk about what it is that you're looking for, because I find that each homeowner, whether they're both looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, that's still going to look different to everyone we talk to.
Gotcha. All right, and then you got the license to shop, you've done the buyer consultation, and then you start looking for kind of place that you're looking for, and then move on to, so essentially the financial literacy is walking a person through not only the steps of the home ownership, but also leading up to the point of what does it look like to budget? What does it look like to clean up your credit? How to maintain that good credit?
And then also in shopping for a loan, every lender
right.
is not made the same. So
No, not
how
at
do
all.
I determine what interest rate is a fair interest rate? What are points on a mortgage? Should I be paying points?
And lenders are notorious for overcharging black people.
Yeah. Yeah. So you
Yes.
want to consult a realtist, because our job as a realtist is to have your best interest at heart. We advocate for the African American community, particularly in home ownership.
Especially with the history of lending and home ownership in this country and how black people have been treated when it comes to lending. We talked about that, as a matter of fact, last time we were here, which was the alleged perception of risk that lenders place on certain communities, and specifically the black community, in terms of increasing their interest rates, increasing the upfront points. So the fact that you help out with that is actually helpful. I can't tell you how many times I've seen closings and I've seen numbers and I'm like, why are they getting 3 extra points on the front end when they shouldn't be?
Right.
Why is interest rate so much higher when it shouldn't be? So it's very, very helpful. So very good. You were talking about a 403B. Can you talk a little bit about that? I didn't understand what you were talking about there.
So if you are a teacher, it's
Okay.
like a 401k for educators.
Ah, okay. Well, see, now I learned something. Yes, contrary to popular belief, I do not know everything. Even though I might represent myself as maybe knowing everything, but I don't.
You know a lot, though.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sanina. I appreciate that. Again, this is a live show, 312-738-1060. We're on CAN TV, and we are on Facebook Live. And we're here with Sanina Ellison Jones. She is the managing broker for RLB Chicago Homes. Did I get that right?
Currently Chicago Homes Realty.
Currently Chicago Homes Realty.
Yes.
As well as the president of the Women's Council and a realtist. Did I miss anything?
Member of the Dearborn Realtist.
Member of the Dearborn Realtist Association. So what else do you think is important that we should, after the June 23rd event, I should actually put that up. I'm going to put that back up here because I didn't put the date. So other than the June 23rd event, which is for our, let's see, no, overhead. There we go. We're going to try to make this easy here. We're going to put this as, the people on Facebook Live are going, what is going on over there? So June 23rd.
There's a couple dates that are coming up.
So we got a couple dates. Can you read that, everybody there? I hope you can see that. Okay. So you said you got a couple dates coming up. What other dates do we have that are coming up?
So July 12th, the Dearborn Realtist Board has its annual membership outing, where we're going to have a barbecue at the Oakwood Shores, which is located on the corner of 39th and Vincennes. I want to say it's 3901 South Vincennes.
Okay.
So that should be a ton of fun. I don't have the time right now.
Is this on the Dearborn website?
But it should be on the Dearborn website. And the good thing about the Women's Council is it feeds to the Dearborn website as well. So if you go to our website, which is rwcichicago.com, you can also access the Dearborn Realtist Board website as well. So it may not be there right now, but
Oh, there we go. We've got,
all of the events, yeah.
we don't have anything beyond the 28th. Oh, wait, no, we do, right? May, yeah, well. That's past events.
Oh, yeah. So
We'll
it's coming up.
We'll have to put it online. Oh, we are wrapping up. I guess I have to wrap up here. My name is Faisal Elkhatib. I'm here with Sanina Ellison Jones, the privilege of having her with us. I've learned a lot from her over the years, and I'm happy that she's here with us today. Remember there's the June 23rd event?
June 23rd.
June 23rd, I'm going to put that back up on the screen for a minute. We are Better Informed Housing.
I really want to share, we have our golf outing. The Dearborn Realtist Board has its golf outing coming up August 16th, which is a huge, huge event. It's a scholarship golf outing for incoming college freshmen. So I know we had a lot of graduates this year. That'll be an awesome, awesome opportunity to take advantage, to get some assistance with paying for college. So be sure to check out the website, chicagorealtors.com, or the Women's Council website, rwcichicago.com, where you can find out more information about both of those events.
We are at betterinformed.org, 218 North Jefferson, Chicago, Illinois. You can email us at neighbors@betterinformed.org. Again, my name is Faisal Elkhatib. I'm with Sanina Ellison Jones. Hopefully we'll see you in the event, so you can check out the Dearborn Realtist website. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next month. Take care.